Καλημέρα σας και καλώς ορίσατε. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 13th Athens Democracy Forum, right here at the Athens Conservatoire, or Odeon, as we say in Greek, which is right next to Aristotle's Lyceum, so we hope that he's listening to us as we're gathering. I have a confession to make. I haven't prepared any notes. I haven't even made any mental notes. That's probably because Conniff is here, our multi-talented editorial director for the Democracy and Culture Foundation. But the other reason is because I want to talk a little bit about you. Agila, can you please turn on the lights? I want to see you because we can't see anything great. Well, you're a great crowd, and I want to thank you all for being here. You know, when we started Athens Democracy Forum 13 years ago at the Tsaltas, it was a 2-hour event. And 13 years later, the audience is much more seasoned than what it was when it started. 6 years ago, as most of you know, we turned into a foundation, the Democracy and Culture Foundation, after 6 years of doing Athens Democracy Forum at the New York Times. As a foundation, we have partnered with a lot of other foundations, and I see, that's why I wanted the lights on, I see a lot of you, new people in the audience, foundations. The role of civil society is crucial in these tumultuous times that we live in, with policymakers and academics and youth in particular. That's the other big component of our audience. I think, I think about 25% of our audience, of our registrants, are below the age of 30. We have 50, 60 teenagers, ages 14 to 17. We need to be hearing your voices. So the rest of us will definitely hear you, but please, the youth, we need your voices as we try to decide what are the new visions for the hard realities that our world is facing. This is the theme that Kim has crafted a wonderful program around, and I will ask you to just run us through what you were thinking while you were putting the program together and what is the result.
Thank you, Achilles, and I do have notes. I can't speak off the cuff as much as Achilles can, but it's wonderful to see you all here this morning. So many familiar faces, friendly faces. It's great to be here with you again in Athens. I'm editorial director, as Achilles said, and I want us to take a little trip back in time, long, long time ago, to last October, 2024. Kind of a different world, some might say. Not very long ago, but in some ways it seems like a really bygone era. Trump hadn't been reelected yet, and I don't think many of us imagined how much the world order would be scrambled, how profoundly some key assumptions would be turned upside down. At the same time, when I look back, many of the same issues that I heard when I talked to my journalist colleagues, when I started to think about, okay, what's the program going to be for next year? Because we do start thinking about it immediately afterwards. And when I started talking to our civil society partners, our board members, some of the same issues were already present, of course. Cybersecurity threats, diplomacy in times of conflict, youth, the appeal of populism, the desire to throw out old systems and start from scratch with the health of the planet in mind. So this program has been endlessly revised and adapted based on current events, but it also remains true to some of the core journalistic questions that always underpin the Athens Democracy Forum. What are the threats to democracy, and how do we counter them? How is democracy evolving to meet this moment? Is this a pivotal point in history, or is this just the pendulum swinging one way? Then maybe it's going to swing the other way, and then maybe eventually it'll kind of land somewhere in the middle at some sort of resting point. These are the questions that we're going to continue to consider over the next few days helped out by our fantastic lineup of speakers and moderators, if I do say so myself. Stephen Erlanger, Liz Alderman, Jyoti Totem, Farah Nayeri, Stephen Dunbar-Johnson. These are all the New York Times moderators. And then we have some help from our friends, Lisa Witter, Niels Gilman, and many others who are here as facilitators and moderators helping us out. So this morning's discussion is just to run through a little bit of the things that we're going to cover this morning. We're talking about populism and cybersecurity, as I mentioned, algorithms and autocrats. That'll be punctuated by some great tools for democracy and bright ideas sessions that should give you some practical ideas, we hope, that you can bring back home to your own projects and your own communities. And I also just want to make a little plug for the lunchtime symposiums that are not to be missed. We work closely with our partners to curate stimulating sessions, this time on academic freedom, multilateralism, information integrity. And we'll end with a conversation between two big city mayors to see how they deal with these issues on a more local level, followed, of course, by our parallel workshops with our partners. I just want to take a moment before passing it back to Achilles to have a little shout out. I don't see her yet, but Louise Kim, if you're here yet. Anyway, if she's not here, somebody can tell her. Louise Kim worked closely with me all summer. She's a Harvard student, and she was my intern this summer. And a lot of what you're going to hear today and tomorrow and last night, actually, was underpinned by the research that she helped me out with. So please give a big round of applause for Louise. And Achilles, back to you to tell us a little bit more about our supporters this year. There are many, many of them, more than usual.
I want to say we're quite coordinated in our Democracy Blue. We didn't even plan this.
Nope.
I do certainly want to thank our supporters, because without them, we wouldn't be here. First and foremost, the New York Times. Please have a look today. Stephen Erlanger has done the introductory piece for the special report on the Athens Democracy Forum. And next year, we will have another next week, on Friday, the 10th, we will have another special report that will report on the outcomes of what we discuss. So what we discuss here does not just stay in this room, but it's disseminated through the New York Times, which is where we started, and we are very grateful for Stephen Dunbar-Johnson, President International of the New York Times, that he's with us and on our board and always very supportive. But the main supporters, the headline supporters, we have Lumina Foundation and we have Charles Kettering Foundation that this year have joined Google, who have been supporting us from the very, very beginning 13 years ago. And our gold sponsors, joining Microsoft, we now have Global Challenges Foundation, who were here last year and hosting a multilateralism lunch, Open Society Foundations, who did a wonderful lunch yesterday, and other supporters like TikTok, McCain Institute, Arizona State University, Lodestar Foundation, Libra Philanthropies. The list, as you can see, goes on and on and on. I'm not going to read all 30 or more of these logos, but we are absolutely grateful and delighted to be working with you. And what is very important for us is that this is a long-term collaboration for the next, 30 years, 40, whatever it will be. So a big round of applause for our supporters. And a big round of applause for all of you for being here, coming from so many different parts of the world. Thank you to you, our speakers, Kim, for putting the program together, and the rest of the team.
Yes. Thank you. And now we won't make you wait any longer. We're going to go straight to our first session on rethinking populism. I know many of you have been waiting for this one, moderated by Stephen Erlanger and his esteemed panelists. So please make your way out. See you soon.